This amateur video captured the Indian Ocean earthquake, its immediate aftermath, and resultant tsunami that devastated Indonesia on December 26, 2004. A local resident was ready to film a marathon in a stadium in Banda Aceh, Indonesia, when the earthquake struck. His video captured the exact moments when the earthquake began to shake the town. The participants in the marathon and the spectators are seen holding the ground as they waited for the quake to subside. Geologists have determined that the Indian Ocean earthquake had a magnitude between 9.1 and 9.3, which makes it one of the largest earthquakes ever recorded. The undersea epicenter was west of Sumatra on the subduction zone of the Indian plate with the overriding Burma plate. The subduction zone was locked, with no fault slippage for over 100 years. The Indian plate's downward movement resulted in the overriding plate bulging at the subduction zone. Finally, on December 26, 2004, the bulging Burma plate finally slipped and snapped upward. The duration of faulting was also one of the longest ever observed, lasting approximately 8 minutes. Residents panicked. Their immediate concerns were of the damage caused by the earthquake. Patients of a local hospital were evacuated to the street, and rescue operations began for those who were trapped under the rubble of destroyed and damaged buildings. The town's main hotel suffered extensive damage when its first floor was completely crushed by its higher floors. Panicked residents evacuated homes and buildings, and hotel guests climbed out of their room windows, some dressed only in towels. The destruction of the city was obvious in its many destroyed and leveled buildings. However, trouble was just beginning. The breakage of the 1,200-kilometer segment of the subduction zone, which is approximately 3/4 of a mile in segment length, resulted in a 15-meter or 50-foot offset of the thrust plane. The seafloor rose by several meters. The tsunami, which followed about 15 minutes later, had residents running for their lives. Most people were unaware of the dangers of tsunamis and were busy with the aftermath of the earthquake. The loud sound of the approaching wave provided little time for reaction. Although in the open ocean, tsunami waves have small amplitudes and long wavelengths. The waves drag against the seafloor bottom as they approach the coast. The wave heights dramatically increase. In many coastal areas surrounding the Indian Ocean, the tsunami waves are greater than 10 meters, more than 30 feet above sea level, and the waves do not stop at the shore. They flow inland for a kilometer or more in flat areas. This wall of water sweeps up cars, houses, debris, and people. Many people were dragged with the waters amid a torrent of logs and rubble as they tried to reach the riverbanks. The rivers jammed with debris as the water flowed out. And still, the danger was not over. More than 30 minutes later, the second tsunami wave struck. And then, about 90 minutes after the first wave, the third wave, the most powerful wave with the greatest height, reached the coast. Many people were left stranded in the floodwaters. Some people moved to rooftops, while others held onto trees to survive. Then, the phenomenal task of rescuing survivors and retrieving bodies began. The Indonesian tsunami killed more than 200,000 people. It is identified as one of the deadliest natural disasters in human history. Beyond the human loss, the tsunami impacted the environment in substantial ways. Coral reefs, mangrove swamps, and coastal wetlands were affected. The tsunami also resulted in chemical spills that affected water quality. Salt from the intruding seawater has also taken a toll on groundwater and agriculture in some areas.